Alrighty folks, we're here inside the kitchen with Chef Johnathon today. My company is Gourmet on the Run. I'm out of South Carolina. I came up here to New York to do this lovely show for us today, folks. We're going to do a nice garlic pesto crostini with some seared steak over the top with a little bit of shaved egg yolks. And then we're going to do a night for the entree today, folks. We're going to do a Gorgonzola Polenta, a fancy word for it. It's Gorgonzola grits with the nice braised beef, and then we're going to use that au jus from there to top it all off with some nice rainbow carrots that we got from Broken Oak Organics. Going to puree those up and we're going to pipe them onto the plate, and then we're going to make my wife's favorite dessert, which is creme brulee. And today we got the strawberries and a $16 vanilla bean. Oh my lord, I can't believe they charge you that much just for one vanilla bean, but it's my fault for getting the lavender. But we had a great time today, and we're going to have a great one today, folks. Let's get right into cooking today, folks, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to enjoy today. We're going to have a great time. Alrighty folks, here we are in New York. We're doing Gourmet on the Run. I'm Chef Johnny. Tonight we're going to do a garlic pesto crostini with some seared steak on it. These two New Yorks that I got right here in the center, that's from Eubanks Farms. They slaughter their own cows fresh in Landrum, South Carolina, and that's where I got those New Yorks from. And then I picked up some Denver cut steaks here for us today. And then right here I got some duck fat and some maltodextrin powder. And I'm going to turn this duck fat into pearls with it. And then right here I got some salt cured egg yolks that we're going to shave right over the top of it, folks. Give me 1 second, we'll be right back. I'm going to griddle these crostinis off, and then we're going to sear off these steaks, and we'll make this powder, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put it all together for you folks. Alright, give us 1 second, we'll be right back with you. Alrighty folks, we're going to start doing some searing stuff. We're going to put these crostinis down here first, then we're going to sear those steaks off. I'll just do it right here. Got that nice garlic pesto on the crostini there. We're going to put them face down, get a nice good sear on them. You totally want to get that nice golden brown crust around the edge of the bread. Then it's going to have that nice crunch and crisp whenever you go to bite into it. Whenever we put that steak on there and the duck fat pearl powder and the shaved egg yolk is going to go right over the top. It's one of my favorite little appetizer bites. Nice and quick, very simple, just a few ingredients. You don't have to do the duck fat pearl powder if you don't want. It's a great dish without it though. Whenever we do this appetizer here, it's a great small bites for small parties, little get-togethers. We've done them for big party weddings, whenever we've done weddings before. It's just one of those dishes that's a crowd pleaser for everything. I picked this dish up a long time ago working out in Denver. Whenever I was out there, it was a lovely time whenever I lived out there and learned a lot of stuff from a lot of different amazing chefs out there. That's that color that you're looking for, folks, nice and golden brown around the edges. Give those just a couple more seconds in there. And then we're going to sear off these steaks. And oh, I cannot wait to show you guys these New York strips that came from Eubanks Farms in Landrum, South Carolina. Such fresh beef. It's so wonderful. And it's always a difference cooking with fresh beef rather than grocery store meat. One more little second. You want to make sure that back of the crostini's got that nice pillowy texture, so it comes off right as a nice clean bite, and it doesn't break anybody's tooth whenever they go to chomp down on that nice crusty bread on the top. Now let's crank up this heat a little bit, because we definitely want a nice hot sear on the steaks. And we're looking for that nice medium rare to medium rare right in the center, with that nice crust all the way around it. Once you see that pan nice and smoking hot, that's whenever you know you're ready to go. You always want to do just a nice simple garlic, salt, and pepper on the meat. Let the meat speak for itself, folks. Don't try to get all fancy with it. Meat is meat, and whenever you got good meat, that's where it's at. Hear that nice sizzle whenever you drop the meat down. It's a lovely sound. We're gonna sear off these 2 New Yorks first, and then I found some Denver cut steaks. For those people that know about it, it's a lovely cut of meat. It's a cross between a New York and a ribeye. It's very lovely. Ask your local butcher. Find out where you can get some. It is one of those cuts of meats that's rare, but whenever you find it, you'll fall in love with it. So folks, I do a private catering business and private chef work. My company's Gourmet on the Run. I work out of the Iron Key Brewing Company. They're in Columbus, North Carolina. A lovely brew house. We do pub grub food. I work there every Mondays. Make sure you come check me out. I have a couple sponsors. The Peace Bird here behind me is from Miss Chris Bachon, Peace Birds by Chris on Facebook. Lovely lady. It's all about spreading peace through the world, and she's giving birds out to many different bands and different people all over the world. We also do. I also have another sponsor, Mableton Custom Homes. They're out of Columbus, out of Tryon, North Carolina, and they're great people. They build really nice homes, and the owner, Brian, and his brother, Brock, are 2 of my greatest clients that I have. Then, of course, I got Mr. Berlin. He's a great guy. And then I usually use this lady out of Cowpens, South Carolina, for my sourdough breads. The lovely sourdoughs out there. She has a great starter that's over 30 years old, and it's a raising wildflowers, and that's flowers as in the cooking flour. We're going to drop just a little bit of this duck fat in there to help sear those steaks up nice and give them that nice color that I'm looking for. Once you start seeing that nice crust developing there on the bottom edges, it means it's almost time to flip. But we don't want to flip it too early. You just want that one good sear on that hard side. And then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to get that other nice sear on the other side there. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Get a little bit in that duck fat oil there. Beautiful crust right there on that part of it. And folks, this is one of those things that if you want, you can always sear the steaks the night before and then just hold them until the next morning and then just pop them in the oven, warm them up just a little bit, and then you can slice them right from there. So it makes for a little bit quicker, easier process. I'm traveling from South Carolina up here to New York. I don't really have that quite luxury at the moment. I got to give thanks to my wife and family and everybody who else has supported me over the years. Such great knowing that you have a good backbone to help support you through and help you get to your dreams. Every band I've cooked for over the years, I'll give thanks to them.
Talk about the band you cook for.
I started cooking for the Kitchen Dwellers and Pigeons Playing Ping Pong back whenever I lived in Denver. I met the band manager for them and been cooking for them ever since. Every time they're around Asheville, North Carolina, or in the western Carolinas, I always try to pop in and cook for them. I actually just recently met a band called Sneezy, and they're actually performing tonight at the Brooklyn Bowl, so I'll be going over there and feeding them after I leave here tonight. It's great going to different music festivals and meeting different bands, getting to cook with them, meeting great people. Look at that beautiful sear that we got on that one. That is a nice, lovely sear right there. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull that one off there, folks. Save that one. And then this one's pretty much right there as well. Like I said, we're looking for that rare to medium rare. I myself, I love my steaks nice and blue. I think that's where the most flavor in the meat is. My wife, she's a medium well person, and I hate taking her out to restaurants because it ruins the steak every time by asking for a filet mignon medium well. I love it to pieces though. Now we're going to sear off these Denver cut steaks here. We're going to place them in there, then we're going to place some duck fat right around them again so we get that nice oil and get that nice sear on them. Now these are nice and thin cuts. They're going to cook up very quickly, folks. Don't take your eye off of them. This Denver cut has a beautiful marbling in it, wonderful flavor. Sometimes you get real lucky at the market and they got some fresh Denver cut steaks. I would say it's up there all along the lines of some beautiful Wagyu. They're a little bit at a cheaper cost though. Oh yeah. Alrighty folks. Look at that sear that we got on that nice Denver cut there. That's a beautiful sear right there on that Denver cut. We're going to go ahead and pull that guy off of there now. And that's a nice beautiful sear right there for the Denver cut steak. It's nice and brown around the edges. Lovely color right there, folks. That's going to have a beautiful texture to it. Oh yeah. So I like to talk to my food. I like to tell it how beautiful it looks, how sexy it is sometimes, because beautiful food, you always eat with your eyes before you eat with your stomach anyway. Gotta have something that looks just as beautiful as it's gonna taste, folks. Alrighty folks, now that the steaks are seared and we got those crostinis all done, we're going to hop right back over here. We're going to turn that duck fat into some pearl powder. So we'll be right back with you folks, and we're going to let these steaks rest, and I'm going to slice them up and we're going to assemble them up together. Thank you folks. Alrighty folks, so you see as I started already cutting the steaks here for us. So this is that one of the beautiful New Yorks that I was telling you about that we got from Eubanks Farm Store there in Landrum, South Carolina. Now let's start cutting into this next one here. Folks, you guys always want to make sure that cut your meat against the grain, never with the grain. Okay, that's very important. So you always look for your grain, try to find your grain, and then you always want to cut up against it. Doesn't matter how far on a bias or just straight on, but you never want to cut with the grain. You always want to go against the grain, folks. Look at this beautiful color that we got on there. Like I said, I was looking for that rare to medium rare. That is the delicious flavor right there, folks. That's going to be going over the crostinis, and we're going to top it with some duck fat pearl powder. That only takes a real quick second to make. You got your fat. You can use whatever type of fat you want to go with it, folks. And then you do use a tapioca maltodextrin powder, and it's 60% fat to 40% powder. Okay, folks. It's something I picked up while I was out in Denver working. I did a little molecular gastronomy cooking while I was out there. It's a lovely, fun experience. It's playing with your food, having fun with it, doing what you love. That's what I love about food, is I do what I love so that I enjoy it every single day of the week. It's never a job at that point, folks. Look at this beautiful color we're getting right there on those steaks. I should have let it rest a little bit. I know people are probably yelling at me for not letting the meat rest enough, but I'm kind of on a time crunch here, folks. We're going to get this stuff out and we're going to have fun with it. Look at these beautiful Denver cut steaks here, folks. Look at that color. That is my favorite right there. That's a nice blue there. It's a little bit more than rare. Nice and cold kind of on the center. Beautiful crust on the outside. It's my favorite way to eat beef. Look at this, folks. This is just, it's cutting like butter. And it does help having a Masahiro chef knife. Thank you, Mike, for getting me the chef knife. This thing has been a wonderful gift ever since he gave it to me. Nice Masahiro's is one of the best knives you can ever ask for. Look at that, folks. It is just cutting like butter through that Denver cut. Oh, wonderful. I know people's probably asking, like, man, why is he cooking so much food? Well, folks, after I leave here, I'm taking this food with me over to the Brooklyn Bowl to feed the bands backstage tonight with them. So, I cooked for the band Sneezy on Saturday in Asheville, and it just so happens to be that they were coming to New York at the same time that I'm going to be here, so I get a chance to go cook for them again this evening, folks, at the Brooklyn Bowl. It's going to be a fun experience. This is one of my few times I've only been in New York, and this is one of them. I got married in Greenwich, Connecticut. My wife is from Chappaqua area. Oh, look at that, folks. That is just beautiful steak right there. All right, now that we got our steak here sliced, we'll be right back, and we're going to mix up this maltodextrin powder with this duck fat. All right, folks, and then we're going to get to assembling everything up. Alrighty, folks, now we're going to make this duck fat pearl powder. This is one of my favorite things to make because it's so quick, it's so much fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it, alright? So now you got your duck fat here, it's already kind of liquidy. You're just going to dump that into the bowl, get that all in there, every last drop of it. Alrighty. Then we're going to slowly add in the tapioca maltodextrin powder, also known as M-sorbent M powder. It's a great, wonderful thing. It's very simple, very lovely, easy to make. And then we got our immersion blender right here, folks. We're going to get that on a low and then get it going. Then you're going to put it in there, and then you're going to sprinkle a little bit of this in at a time, kind of get it going around. All you're doing is just blending it up. Like I said, you got to do a little bit at a time, get it in there, work it in, incorporate it. Alrighty, folks, this is one of those things that it takes a little bit of time. It's so much fun to make. Now that you're starting to get the paste, it's getting ready to start coming together. We're going to get a little bit more of the powder And then we're going to whip it on up in there, and then it's going to be nice and start flaking out into the nice pearls for us. I'm on Facebook at the moment. I'm still working on getting everything else going with the Facebook and everything. Just recently closed down my restaurant in this past October that I was doing with a great friend of mine, and now I just kind of went out on my solo journey so I could spend more time with my family and my dad. But give us 1 second, folks. We're going to be right back. I got to grab a little bit more of that powder for us. Alrighty, folks. Now that we got that duck fat, it comes out to be like this right here. Then you got your little strainer here, and as you see, I already started pushing it through there, folks. See those nice little beautiful pearl shavings off the top of there? Then we're just going to push those through right there. Look at that. That is beautiful, folks. It's exactly what I was looking for right there. And we're just going to leave it kind of hanging off of there for us. Then we're just going to use that as we go through and build these crostinis. We're just going to use right off of those, folks. We're just going to peel it right off of there. So, folks, we already got our steaks all cut here. All of the New Yorks, the Denver cuts, and everything else. So you saw how I did the griddled one crostinis off on the pan, and that is these ones right here. But if you're ever doing a larger party, you can always bake some off in the oven, and that's these right here, folks. We're just going to build a few of these crostinis up real fast for us. So we're going to put a little bit of this pearl powder down on the crostini itself. Just going to shave a little bit of that off in there. So as you see, folks, you just get that nice little pearl that comes right off of there. You're just looking to scrape those little bit of edges off, and you kind of can see all the definition that you get from putting that tapioca extra powder in the duck fat. All we did was just blend it a little bit, and then we pushed it around, and then we ran it through the strainer here a little bit. You're just wanting to put a little bit of that down on each of the crostinis. You know, not a lot because it is very rich. And then we're going to put a couple pieces of steak right over the top of it here. This right here is that beautiful New York strip from the Eubanks Farm Store. And then right here is a nice Denver cut here piece. And this is so buttery tender. It's a lovely piece of meat. It's one of my favorite cuts of all time. Ever since I learned about it, and I just mistakenly came about it because I was looking for a ribeye, and the butcher's like, well, I don't have any ribeyes left, but I do have these. And he showed me these, and I've just fell in love with them ever since, folks. It's just one of those cuts of meat that's just, once you find it, you'll never go back. You'll always be looking for it. Alrighty, folks, now that we got the beef on there, then we're going to take our little grater here, and we're going to grate up some of this salt cured egg yolk. We're going to put that right over the top of them, folks. Nice and small. You get the nice little grains going through there, and then we're going to, after we get it off on the microblade, we're going to run the spoon around the top of it and to grab all those shavings right off of there. Salt cured egg yolks take about 7 days to cure up in the salt, and then you can just shave them off, and it's a beautiful thing. Lovely flavors all the way through. Look at that, folks. That nice gold color is exactly what you're looking for. Alrighty, I believe that's enough egg yolks. We're just going to assemble these 4 for now, and I'll do these ones here later on. So you use the back of the spoon, and you're just going to put a little bit on each one. You don't need a lot, because like I said, it's very rich. You got a lot of rich flavors going on here. I want to say thank you again to everybody who has supported me along the way in this journey. It was very helpful having so many people behind you and believe in you. That's the whole thing. You got to have a good support system to do what you love, because it takes every bit of your time up. I thank my wife for allowing me to hardly ever be there and be with her, because I'm always cooking or in the kitchen or doing something or researching. I'm always talking about food. Alrighty, folks. And those right there, that's our final product right there, folks. Nice, beautiful steak crostinis on that pesto baguette. And then you got the steak there, and then we have the shaved egg yolks right over the top. I want to say thank you again, folks, for everything, for supporting me. We're going to get ready to hop into the next dish, and we're going to be moving along really fast here, folks. So make sure you stay tuned, okay? Thank you guys so much. Alrighty, folks, now we're going to hop right into the entree. This is going to be something that is an absolute showstopper of a dinner entree. It's one of my favorite things, and it is my wife's absolute favorite way that I do polenta. And polenta is just a little bit more broken down of a grit. And me being from the South, I use white stone ground grits, and they're already pretty fine. They cook up fairly quick, folks. Look at that. Just very super fine grits is all you're looking for. I have here in front of me, I have a chuck flap cuts. It's a cheaper cut than a short rib, but if you get some beef ribs, like I do have some beef ribs, and we are going to be braising those as well. I got those beef ribs from the Eubanks Farm Store, and once again, folks, that is fresh beef. There's nothing you can get better than fresh beef. And then I got the boneless chuck flap here for us, and I already put a little flour dredge over it. And then while I was chopping all my vegetables and stuff, I saved all those end pieces for the little bit of the mirepoix that goes into the bottom of the pan. And then your secret ingredient, folks, believe it or not, is Coca-Cola with this product, and then a little bit of red wine today. And I already got the Coca-Cola and the red wine already mixed up in here for us, so we're going to be all set, folks. We're going to sear off these chuck flaps, and then we're going to sear off the mirepoix. We're going to bring them back together, and after you sear everything off, you put them in the oven with the liquid, and you're going to braise them nice and slow at about 300 degrees. Okay, folks, you're going to braise them until that beef rib, and you poke into it, and it's just going to start looking like butter. And whenever I pull it out of the oven, folks, you'll see what I mean. All right, so now we're going to get ready to sear all this stuff off here. Alrighty, folks, not only is this one of my favorite dishes, but whenever I've done this for my previous meal plans, I had this guy Kiki from Brotherstone Granite, and let me tell you, he absolutely raves about this dish, and every time I make it, he always makes me make him some extra for him. So Enrique, this one is for you, bud. I know you like this stuff. You have a great one today, my man. Let's sear that beef and get it nice and hot in that cast iron skillet. Now I do got some duck fat cooking spray here. It's one of my favorite things to use. And then after you get a nice sear on the beef ribs, got to get that nice good sear on them. And I want to thank Broken Oak Organics for providing us with our vegetable that we're going to have today. It's a rainbow carrot, and I've pureed the rainbow carrots, and then I put them in a balloon here inside the piping bag, and we're going to pipe those right down on the plate, folks. I got some nice, beautiful purple kaleidoscope carrots there, and then we got the orange and the yellow carrots here for us, folks. It's going to be it's going to turn out to be lovely whenever I put it all together. And then while you got your ribs going, you can get your pot going with some melted butter, and then we're going to get ready to make that polenta. As soon as we get this stuff going, folks, once it comes out of the oven and braising, then you can go right into making your Gorgonzola Polenta. I use grits because I'm from the South. And then we're going to pipe out those flowers on the plate. And then you're going to take all your sauce and you're going to reduce it down. Get that nice rich gravy that you get from all the au jus sauce from the spare ribs being in the oven. Oh yeah, see how we got that nice good sear on that, folks, right there? That is going to be one of the things that you want to have. You want to make sure you have that crust built up around the outside of the chuck flap. You can do short ribs. You can do it with regular beef ribs. It doesn't matter, folks. I got a couple different things going on in the oven already for us. So whenever we come back, we'll have that all set up. We're going to pull these beef ribs out, and we're going to saute. We're going to throw in our mirepoix here to go with it. You want to get that mirepoix in there, get a little bit of this oil, throw it in there. Never been in a rental kitchen before, so having to find my way around and navigate through it. And some things they have, some things they don't. I'm glad I brought a few things from home to make sure that I can pull this all off successfully here, folks. Alrighty, folks, now that we got that nice sear on those chuck flaps right there for us, folks, and then we got the mirepoix already going down in the bottom of the pan. Now we're going to pour our Coca-Cola and red wine mixture over the top of it here. We're going to wrap it with foil, and then we're going to throw it in the oven. And then you're just going to sit back and relax for about 2 hours until it's all ready to go. But let me tell you, this is the secret right here, folks. Coca-Cola and red wine on those braised short ribs. It turns out amazing every time. I learned that from my buddy Christian Damsworth in Denver. He showed me that trick, and I've done it that way ever since, and every time it comes out to be like butter. You don't mess with perfection, I say. Alrighty, folks, now I'm going to get ready to wrap this up with foil, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to cook off the Gorgonzola Polenta, pipe on the carrots onto the plate, and then we're going to be all ready to go and enjoy, folks. Alrighty, folks, now we're rolling right into the entree. We got those braised those braised beef ribs out of the oven. They came out so beautifully tender here, folks. Look at this, just pops right apart. That's exactly what you're looking for whenever you go to braise the beef rib. You just want it to kind of fall apart. So that way whenever you're eating it with this Gorgonzola grits, or polenta, as most people call it, is absolutely phenomenal. So for that Gorgonzola polenta, folks, we use this Kerrygold butter. It's the only butter I like to use, the pure Irish butter. And then you're going to get in some whole milk, a little bit of heavy cream, a good bit of heavy cream actually, and then a great big bite of the Gorgonzola cheese. Depends on how much cheese you want to put in there. You can put your Parmesan, your Asiago, your Romano in there as well, or just white cheddar if you like. Now I know you folks that know our grits over from the kitchen, we did the white cheddar in our grits and about 4 other cheeses, but those are a secret. And then we did, those grits were absolutely phenomenal. But that, I just took a little bit of the twist, added in Gorgonzola instead, and then garlic, salt, and pepper. And then that's going to be your base here, folks. And this wooden spoon right here, this is from my grandma, who got that from her grandma. So this wooden spoon here is true to my heart. This is my grandma wooden spoon. I always use it for grits, marinara, or risotto. And that's about all I use it for, folks, because it's the true comfort of it. And having a good spoon is quality. And then we're going to put that right into the center of the plate here, folks. Look at that, just a nice pillowy pile of those blue cheese Gorgonzola grits right there. And then after you got your braised short ribs out of there, you wanted to make sure you reduce down that liquid. That's going to give you the little gravy topper that we're going to put on the top of it here, folks. Then we're just going to pick out our best looking ribs here. We're going to give those a nice slice. Remember, folks, always against the grain, never with it, okay? Oh boy, that's lovely. That is lovely. Now this is another knife that my friend Mike got for me. It is beautiful, super sharp, nice little razor. We're going to put a couple of those pieces in there. Then we got that beef rib from the Eubanks farm store there in Landrum, South Carolina. We're going to slice some of that in here too, folks. Look at that. That is just wonderful. Gives me nice little pieces right here. Look, we're going to cut that little bit of the gristle. We're going to cut that out of there. Nobody likes to eat that. Everybody likes to eat the nice beautiful rib right there. Look, this, folks, is going to be a beautiful plate here. And we're going to slice off this one right here. That's a nice piece. You see how it's nice and spongy there? It gives you all that liquid. Oh, beautiful. We're going to give you a nice clean cut here. We're going to throw that off to the side. I'll snack on that later. That's going to be some good stuff. Then we're going to get a nice big slice here. A couple nice big ones. Oh man. Beautiful pieces there. And then we got some nice little beef rib chunks right here too, folks. Put those right off to the side right for the trim. Alrighty, and then here we have the rainbow carrots that I piped up separately and put them in a bag. I should have pureed them up a little bit better now that I've started playing with it a little bit. But it's still going to be nice and elegant. It's going to give me that color pop that we're looking for on the plate. Trying to get some of that purple carrot in there for us. Sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate with you, so you want to take a fork and kind of go in that tip a little bit and just clear it out. It's probably a bigger chunk. Like I said, folks, I should have pureed it a little bit better. Being on a time crunch, things happen. But us people that cook for a living, we just kind of roll with it and just go with it. And what we get is what we get. There we go. Now we got a little bit of that purple in there as well. We're just trying to go around the bottom rim of the plate here. See, that's what happens whenever you don't puree it enough. Kind of just wants to all come out at once at that point. That's my fault there, folks. Oh, look, now we got a little bit of a roll going here. All right, now that we got all that going around there, clean off those edges a little bit there. And then we got that nice rich gravy I was talking about, and how you get it reduced down beautifully. And we're going to put that right over the top of that short rib and along the bottom. Give yourself a nice little dollop right there in the center. You gotta have that flavor to go with that Gorgonzola. And then here, folks, here's a couple things we got to top it off with. We got some mountain garlic from Broken Oak Organics. Very rare. You won't find it anywhere. You won't even find it on Google. I only got it because I know the guy that actually grows it. beautiful little purple polyps of garlic, and they're nice and sweet, folks. Very edible. And then we have some edible dahlias also from the Broken Oaks Organics, folks. And then here's some of the insides of those carrots that I chopped up and pureed. Some of these are beautiful kaleidoscopes here, folks. Wonderful flavor of carrots. We're going to peel off a couple of these inner leaves here, kind of give us that nice color pop that we're looking for on the plate. Look at that, folks. And then you got your little green onion, little flowers over here. You can play with them and stick them in there too. But right there, folks, that is one delicious plate right there. It is absolutely gorgeous. I wish I would have pureed those carrots down a little bit better. I should have known better. But we live and we learn and we roll with the punches. That's what we do here, folks. We're just having fun and playing around in the kitchen. And for that, folks, that's going to cut down for our entree, and we'll be right back with the strawberry vanilla creme brulee, folks. Alrighty, folks, last but not least, this is my wife's absolute favorite dessert, is creme brulee. And whenever I made her a strawberry lavender creme brulee one time, she said that was the best creme brulee she's ever had in her entire life. And my wife is a creme brulee snob. She absolutely adores creme brulees. Anytime we go out to a restaurant, if there's a creme brulee, we're getting it. But she always says, you know what, this is okay, but yours is better whenever you do it yourself at home with the strawberry and lavender. Unfortunately, folks, I forgot the lavender this time, but I did end up picking up a $16 vanilla bean here in New York. They made me pay $16 for one vanilla bean. Just one. Absolutely absurd, but we made it work. We had fun with it, and we made our mixture. So this, folks, is your creme brulee mixture before you throw it in the oven in a pan of shallow water, and then you bake it in the oven. They come out looking like this, nice and solid, very nice and custardy here, folks. And then I had some strawberries here that I macerated with just some sugar and some more vanillas. And as I creamed the sugar and with the egg yolks and the cream and the sugar, after we creamed all that together, we brought those two ingredients together, and then we poured them into our ramekins here, and then we baked them off in a nice oven at 350 for a good 30 minutes, okay? And then we're going to top it here with the macerated strawberries. Try to make sure you get all that juice out of there, because you don't want that juice. It's going to prevent your sugar from making that nice top crack on the sugar there. We're just going to throw a little bit more of those in the middle of each dish here, folks. Like, once again, like I said, make sure you get as much of that juice off there as you can possible. Just sprinkle it around there a little bit, and then we're going to bury all that in sugar, and then we're going to use the torch. I love playing with fire, folks. That's one of my favorite things, is playing with fire. Whenever I make edible helium sugar balloons, hopefully I get to come back to this area, and I'll do those for you, folks. Those were absolutely wonderful whenever I do those and play with those. And here we go. Now that we got all those little bit of the strawberries on top of everything. Now after these came out of the oven, they did sit there and cool in the refrigerator for about a good 2 hours. And then like I said, folks, this is not a diabetic friendly dessert because there's so much sugar in it, but it is so lovely. And with my diabetes, it's one of those ones that I only get to enjoy every so often. And we're going to layer in a nice bit of sugar in there all around on all of them. Alrighty, folks, we're going to torch this one right here. We're going to set all these off to the side. I'm going to torch them here in just a few minutes. That way those people get to enjoy their. Then you want to pat it around, make sure you get that sugar kind of all over the place there. Get it in there, get your torch set up here. And then the best part, the funnest part is just playing with this here, folks. You're just going to kind of swirl it around until you get that sugar starting to melt. Then you're going to start to develop that sugar glass on the top of it, and that's whenever it's really delicious. Now I made these at Iron Key Brewing on Monday just to make sure I remembered how to make them. It's been a while since I've had to make these creme brulees. And as you get that nice color there, the nice burn color, you're going to just start swirling it all around until you get that nice sugar glass developed there all over the whole top of it. Because you want to be able to take that spoon and crack it, the top of it, and really open up all the flavors and all the aroma that you'll get out of it. And with those brulee and the strawberries right on the top too, you're really going to get a lot of that strawberry and vanilla in there. Like I said, I wish I would have remembered the lavender. I would have put some lavender in here. I would have steeped the lavender in with the cream a little bit, and then had a little bit of the lavender chopped up into the strawberries themselves. But along the road trip, folks, from South Carolina all the way up to here, things happen. You don't always get to remember everything. Everything always doesn't make it all the time safely whenever you're cooking food and traveling with it. And folks, we are getting there. Look at those nice burnt edges coming up on the strawberries there, folks. That sugar is developing that nice crust around the top of it. It's very key to make sure you get that sugar all the way around, all the way to the rims, so you get that nice flavor and that nice glass to go around all the top of it. And then you get to mix that in with the beautiful custard base that I made. I've done panna cotta before, done the lemon poncette before, which are very similar, but they're a lot quicker. But I chose to do the creme brulees because that's my wife's favorite. And thank you, Lee, for enjoying the time with me and choosing me as your husband, being with me through all the struggles. Thanks for always supporting me in my dreams of cooking and cooking with passion. It's what we do. We love to cook and we love to have fun with it while we cook. That right there, folks, that is the money shot right there, with everything nice and glistening, caramelizing up really nicely right there. And that is going to be it, folks. We're going to let this kind of just set up for just a moment, and then we'll crack it with the spoon after that sugar sets. Alrighty, folks, we're wrapping it up here today here in the kitchen studio here in New York. I'm Chef Johnny from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. My company is Gourmet on the Run. I'm doing what I love and enjoy. It's bringing food to the happy bellies. And then I love my Peace Birds here, folks, by Peace Birds by Chris. She's a lovely lady. And then today, folks, what we did for you here, I'm going to sum it all up. We did a nice garlic pesto crostini here with the nice sourdough baguette from Raising Wildflowers. And then we have our steak over the top of it here with some Eubanks farm beef for us from Landrum, South Carolina, topped with some shaved egg yolks there. Also very fresh farm-raised chicken eggs and duck eggs. Then we have our strawberry lavender creme brulee that we did here for us, folks, but I forgot the lavender, so we made it do with the $16 vanilla bean. And then for our entree, folks, we made a nice carrot puree. I wish I would have pureed those carrots a little bit better so they would have turned out a little bit better. But we made it work. We had fun with it. And then we braised off some beef here for us. And then we made that wonderful Gorgonzola Polenta that my wife absolutely loves and adores. And that, folks, is what we did today here in the kitchen. I believe they called the show Inside the Kitchen with Chef Johnathon. I don't really consider myself a chef. I consider myself a lovely person who loves to cook and has the passion for it. And I think on my feet and I make things work. And thank you again from Broken Oak Organics for providing all the fresh produce I had to work with today. Just a wonderful time, folks, and thank you guys so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here again. Thank you guys. You have a great one.